Welcome back guys to the channel. We're simply progressing from where we stopped on last time. Remember, we are simply discussing the techniques to memory. And this is the second one. Remember, I said there are four, which we're going to discuss in this particular series of videos. And now this one is simply about the involvement of the body. That is to say, how is the body involved in whatever process that we're doing, which we're aiming at simply getting something into our brain. The first thing about this, because I'm going to fragment it into several parts, the first thing about this is simple posture. The interesting thing about posture is simply the position we commission our bodies to whenever we are resting, sitting, standing, or even learning, as well as even studying. So it means in this case, it is very much recommended to employ a posture that means we're very active for the learning as well as even studying process. It means in that case, then more likely are we able to go into actually transfer the ideas into our long-term memory. The other thing is about relaxation. Relaxation is simply describing how well we train our brains to be at the state of learning as even studying. Remember that the brain works according to its own cycles. That means whenever we are relaxed, we're in a relaxed state. It means at that particular point in time, we're trying to prevent any kind of brain cycle strain. That is actually another great hindrance to the storage of ideas in our brains. That thing is about recitation. Remember, within the cycles of academia, there are simply certain ideas or simple facts that are conventional agreed. And a good example of this is simply the scientific names. Remember, those are simple things that you cannot even change. Now, much as you do not have any other choice but to learn them, there's supposed to be a technique for which you can agree to those. And the very best one is simply to recite them out. The moment you're reciting them out, you're simply increasing the number of the trails of the neural pathways in your brain. And much easier you're going to be able to remember all those concepts. Another thing is about paraphrasing. Remember, there are several sources of information with different kinds of explanations. In this case, it is very much important, therefore, to always study all those, gather them into your brain, and then be able to explain them using your own terms and even your own words. You can do this to either a group of people or even someone who is really close to you, regardless of who that person might be to you. Remember, the other thing is simply about writing down something. It can even be during the lecture sessions or even personal studying. In this case, the moment you try to write something down, you are actually involving your body and even your whole self into that process of learning. Remember, it is even much said to say we are able to keep in memory and even be able to retrieve something that we were involved actively in the process rather than something that we just see or even hear. So all these concepts are simply wrapping up into the element of body's involvement in the memory as even another technique of enhancing the memory itself. So it means in this case, all these concepts are those that are going to be able to increase just the number of neural connections about a certain idea. And more likely, are we going to be able not only to store, but even to be able to retrieve that particular kind of information at every point in time where they're going to be needed. Thank you guys for watching, and I believe so that you're going to be there as we proceed with this kind of movement.